In the United States, 30% of adults and 66% of teenagers are regularly operating on a severe sleep deficit. To cope with this daily exhaustion, we often treat sleep like a financial transaction. We assume we can rack up a heavy deficit during the work week and pay it all back with a massive sleep binge on the weekend. Researchers tested this assumption by putting subjects through 10 days of partial sleep deprivation, restricting their rest by about a third, followed by a full 7 days of recovery sleep. This chart compares how the brain recovers over that 7-day period. Only basic reaction times returned to their normal baseline. The subject's core cognitive functionality, their ability to think clearly and process information, remained severely impaired. The human body does not accept weekend catch-up payments. Sleep debt is an accumulating physiological toll that lingers long after you finally get a full night's rest. The brain falters first on a sleep deficit. The medial prefrontal cortex acts as a control center, keeping emotional responses in check by regulating the amygdala. Sleep loss severs that connection. Without this control, you experience intense anxiety, losing the ability to manage emotional reactions to stressors. We know exactly what happens at the absolute extreme of this neurological breakdown, thanks to a 1965 experiment. A 16-year-old high school student named Randy Gardner stayed awake for 264.4 hours straight. By day 2, his eyes couldn't focus. By day 3, he developed ataxia, losing the physical coordination required to repeat simple tongue twisters. When day 11 arrived, he was experiencing severe paranoia, slurred speech, and vivid hallucinations. The physical and cognitive degradation was so extreme that the Guinness Book of Records permanently banned anyone else from attempting voluntary sleep deprivation. Total acute sleep deprivation pushes the brain into rapid psychosis, but the everyday chronic sleep deprivation that millions of people endure triggers a slower, much deadlier systemic collapse throughout the entire body. As that sleep debt compounds over weeks and months, it begins to rewire your appetite hormones. This visualization shows your endocrine system on a sleep deficit. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, spikes by 15%. Simultaneously, leptin, the hormone signaling you are full, drops by 18%. This chemical imbalance creates a powerful biological drive to overeat, resulting in an inevitable caloric surplus. While you are eating more, your body is simultaneously losing its ability to process that energy. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, elevates, which impairs your glucose metabolism and drops your carbohydrate tolerance by 30%. You consume more calories while your body becomes highly resistant to insulin. This paves a direct biological pathway from a lack of sleep to obesity and type 2 diabetes. Over the span of years, chronic sleep debt breaks down your core maintenance systems, starting with your immune response. During sleep, your body produces cytokines to combat pathogens and regulate inflammation. Restricting your sleep reduces that cytokine production by up to 50%, leaving your body chronically inflamed and highly vulnerable to infection. The cardiovascular system absorbs this toll directly. Adults who sleep fewer than 6 hours a night face a 48% higher risk of developing coronary artery disease. Even more concerning is what happens to the glymphatic system. This acts as the brain's proprietary waste clearance network, and it only activates during deep sleep. This animation illustrates how a lack of deep sleep halts that flushing process. Without it, a neurotoxin called beta amyloid starts to build up between the cells, driving a 33% increase in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. What modern society brushes off as simply being tired is in reality the steady acceleration of fatal chronic disease. Zooming out from cellular damage to the macro scale, this biological cascade aggregates into a massive public health crisis, costing the United States over $411 billion annually in lost productivity and healthcare. The burden of this crisis falls heavily on shift workers and those facing extreme occupational stress, whose schedules physically prevent them from aligning with their natural circadian rhythms. In low-income and marginalized communities, persistent noise pollution and 24-hour urban environments make achieving uninterrupted rest nearly impossible. We have to dismantle how we think about rest. We treat sleep as a luxury, a secondary priority to our work, or an overdraft account that we can balance at a later date. Sleep must be treated as a critical vital sign, equal in importance to your heart rate or blood pressure, because the only way to survive a sleep debt is to stop borrowing against your own biology in the first place.